Hi, I'm Rita. Welcome back to my booktube channel, Life Worth Reading. Today, I am letting you know which will be my War Games Readathon TBR for the month of March. The War Games Readathon is hosted by Erin from Booked and Busy, Nicole from Nicole and Her Books, and Alana, the Awkward Book Nerd. And this readathon is based off the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, which I have never read, so that's not what's making me want to participate. But I love all three of those channels first and foremost, so it was already a given that I would be interested in it. But the way that it is actually programmed and the way that it's planned is so interesting. So just to explain it briefly, I'll leave all the announcements down below because obviously the creators explain it way much better than I will. But pretty much there are three paths. So there is the dark path hosted by Erin, there is the gray path hosted by Nicole, and the light path hosted by Alana. And in each path that you can choose, there are 3 archetypes. So there are 9 archetypes altogether, 3 within each path. And within each archetype, there are 5 prompts, which are the 5 books that you will have to read in the month of March. So this is a month-long readathon, which is so much fun because I have never participated in readathon before because it is a lot of pressure to read certain books in a short amount of time when readathons are just like a weekend or a week long. It always just feels a little intimidating to me, so I've never actually participated in a readathon before. This will be my first one, so that's really exciting. Honestly, all of the paths and all of the archetypes have really incredible prompts. They're so creative, they're so interesting to follow and try to gather up books for those prompts specifically. But I have chosen the dark path hosted by Erin, and I have chosen the Temperance archetype. And the way that the winner of the readathon is decided is which path has the most 5 stars. So it's not actually about the quantity of the books that you read, but it's the books that you choose that you think that you will really love, which is also a very interesting approach to a readathon, and it makes you want to choose books that you actually really want to read and that you think you'll love. So that's better than just forcing yourself to read books and get through books that you're not sure if you're gonna like either way. So for my archetype, the Temperance in the dark path hosted by Erin from Booked and Busy, we have 5 prompts. So I have them here, I wrote them down here, so if you see me looking, that's why. So the first prompt is to read a new release. And for this prompt, I chose Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers because this book is just like, it's been on my TBR ever since it was announced. And it sounds so good. It is a sapphic romance, but everybody says that it's not like light, as in it's not just a fun rom-com style romance book. It actually deals with a lot of harder hitting topics and a lot of more complex nuances to a romance story. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. All I know is that it's about this girl Grace, and she doesn't, I don't think she accidentally gets married, but I think it's just like a spur of the moment decision to get married to another girl in Vegas. So that's literally all I know about it. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but I'm so excited about this book. Like, I'm really looking forward to hearing. And so for the new release, I'm gonna read Honey Girl. The next prompt is to read from a new author, which I assume that it could be either a debut author or a new author to me. And for this one, I chose The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Ninh Vo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this name right. I think that the author is Vietnamese. So if I checked the pronunciation before, but it can still not be completely correct. So I do apologize for that. I have no idea what this book is about. I'm just gonna let you know now. I have no idea what this book is about, but it's a really short read. And I do really love exploring Asian literature, especially South Asian literature. And so I'm really looking forward to this book. And I also needed, because I'm reading a lot of books in March, so I also needed a shorter book to make up for the longer ones that I'll be reading. And so for the new author, I'm gonna pick The Empress of Salt and Fortune. Then we have a prompt to read either a grimdark book, a true crime book, or a horror book. And for this, I'm picking horror book, and I'll be reading The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I am putting this book in this prompt because I already planned to read this book in March. So I'm just really adapting one of the prompts to a book that I had already chosen, because I will be buddy reading this in March with Kids Bugs here on BookTube. She is really fun. She is so unique. And we'll be reading this together, which will be really exciting because I've heard a lot of great things about this book, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out, and I hope I love it. Then we have another prompt that is to read a sci-fi. I was like mostly scared about this one prompt because I don't read sci-fi almost never. So I really had to think about a book that I would read that could fit this category. And the one that I chose is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Motar. I have heard people talking about nonstop about this book for like it's been, I want to say, like over a year now that I've been hearing people talking about this book. But since I don't read a lot of sci-fi, it seems a little bit intimidating. But all I noticed is a sapphic romance with a time travel futuristic spin on it, and that's just all I really need to know about it. Like, I want to see two girls fall in love throughout a timeline and time travel and all of that. And it's also short to read, so that's always good. So yeah, for sci-fi, I'll be reading This Is How You Lose the Time War. And finally, we have to read a booktube recommendation, and for this prompt, I'll be reading Black Sun by Rebecca Rohnhorse. And I think that maybe a few of you will know like whose this recommendation is from, but it is Jayla. Jayla, if you're watching this, I'm reading Black Sun because of you. So I hope I love it. I hope I love it, because we all know that we get scared of trying out books that we don't know if we love. But this is your recommendation and I'm doing it. I don't know much about Black Sun. Okay, I know nothing about Black Sun. I just know that people are like hyping it up a lot right now. And yeah, I want to check it out. I want to see it for myself. And I want to get it over with before I create even more like anticipation within me and I become even more intimidated by it. So I just really want to get it over with now before I psych myself out of it. So for Booktuber's recommendation, Lala Loves Lit, I'm reading Black Sun by Rebecca Rohnhorse. I have already posted my other March TBR, which is Tara Picks My TBR. It is a game that I've been doing since January and it is so much fun. So you should definitely watch it if you want to know what other books I'll be reading in March. But yeah, this is my War Games Readathon. These are the 5 books that I plan on reading. The group book is Red Rising by Pierce Brown, but I'm not sure if I'm actually interested in reading that book because I've never been interested in reading that book before. So I'm still considering it, but right now it is not on my actual TBR, especially because the group book is optional. So I still don't know if I'm going to read it or not. But let me know if you're participating. This War Games Readathon seems like so much fun, and I would love to know if any of you are participating and what are your TBRs for the month. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope you have a nice day, and always remember that life is worth reading.